Alright, so this time I actually did film my warm-up. I'll be kind of going quickly through some parts and slowing it down for others, just explaining why I do certain things. But yeah, this is what I do every day. Usually takes me between 15 to 30 minutes to do this warm-up, and I really do recommend getting a really strong warm-up in, because then you'll be really ready when you go for your actual gymnastics. So I'll warm up with 8 jumping jacks, 8 straight jumps, 8 push-ups, and 8 V-ups to just get my body rolling. And then from there, I'll start the actual stretch out. But yeah, this just gets me ready to go, gets my mind in the game. And also, one thing that I notice is throughout this warm-up, I have little checkpoints that I can really test to see where my body's at. So for example, in these push-ups, some days my push-ups will feel more difficult than others. So I know that my strength will probably be a little bit more difficult, so I'll have to work a little bit harder that day. Also, I do plan to do a video where I focus on just the stretch and really go in depth as to what I do and why I do it and why I think it'll help my workout. Alright, so now I'm going to take this warm-up and just put it to 10 times speed or somewhere around there so that we can get into the actual events. But if you want to see what I'm doing, then you can just slow it down through YouTube. Also, one thing, make sure you work on your splits, especially when you're young. As you can see, mine aren't that great. And that is something that I really wish I spent more time on as a junior, because it would make my gymnastics significantly easier. But now, you know, you have to learn to play to your strengths, which is why I do a lot of strength, because if you can't use your flexibility to get a skill, then it's important to know how to use your strength to get a skill. Also, I mentioned earlier that I do these checks during my warm-up to see my fitness level and strength level for the day. And one of the checks is right here. I do, from the middle split, I'll do like a planche press to handstand. And some days it feels really light, and that's how I know strength is gonna come naturally. And other days I know I'm gonna have to work for it. I always finish my warm-up with a press handstand with my hands turned out. The hands turned out press handstand is slightly harder, but it emulates what it feels like on rings and makes me use my back more, which I think is important. And then I'll do a back tuck stick, and then from there I'll do a couple tuck planche kickouts. Shout out to Riley, who showed me that. It's pretty helpful and just activates all the right muscles. So that was the warm-up. Now let's get on to the actual gymnastics. And it is a Friday workout, so that means pretty heavy gymnastics day. I do high bar, floor, and rings, and then I also finish with around 45 to an hour of ring strength or strength related to rings. Now I'm starting off on high bar. My first turn, as always, is this mount to front giant, and then I'll do a pirouette into my Kovacs taps and Tkachev taps. Now for my second turn, I like to either do a last half. So right now I'm working on the triple Tkachev Stalder one arm giant dismount as a last half, or I'll do a first mini sequence, which is just 2 skills. So it'll be Zuli Min, which is my entry or the mount, and then I'll do that into a Coleman. That's just to kind of get the flow of what my routine will feel like, because I'll be doing Zuli Min into a Casina, but I just need to get that feeling of doing a release move that's not right away. So doing that Zuli Min is just gonna prep me for the actual routine that I'm intending on doing this year. For my plan today, I am focusing on Casinas as my main skill, and then I'm also going to be doing some Tkachev connects. Now, Casino is still a relatively new skill, and it's pretty technically difficult. So here I'm really trying to work on my technique while also obviously catching the bar and increasing that hit percentage. For casinas, I'm currently doing my first one with a mat slide, and that's to really just focus on tuning in with the bar and making specific corrections that I need to make. So one correction that I know I have to focus on is as I'm letting go of the bar, I need to feel like my shoulders are opening up. And it's obviously pretty scary because you're flipping over a bar, and opening your shoulders up means you're going much higher as opposed to over. And also, you have to be pretty aggressive. So just doing that first turn where I know that mat's gonna get slid in case I am on the bar makes it easy to focus on my technique. And once I've done it once, then I can translate it over without that mat, or at least having someone pull the mat out so I can catch the bar. Super proud of making those casinas, especially the last one. And you know, they're not perfect, but just doing those numbers and catching the bar is my aim right now, and then the technique and form will even itself out over time. And now you just saw a bunch of caught casinas, but that's not what training actually looks like. I'll show now all the misses that I had because, you know, it's not going to be a catch every time. These skills are pretty difficult. So, you know, there are going to be falls, and it's about learning to adjust from those falls. Like right there, that turn was one of the most important falls that I had of that training session for casinas, because my aim for that turn was to get height while increasing my distance, because I noticed I was catching a little bit closer than I would like. So there I really worked the bar, which sent me up more and over more, and that helped my future turns where I could kind of find that center point and that balance point to really make that adjustment to put me at a good distance from the bar where my arms are straight, because if my arms are bent, it's a deduction. Now I'm moving on to the triple Tkachev connection, and today it was more challenging than the other days that I've been doing it. So on days like this where I'm missing more frequently than I would like or than I would expect, I realized that I need to go back to the basic or the drill. So after this training day, which was Friday, on Saturday I went and just did the individual out to Tkachev where I was focusing on blocking the bar. And I think that'll help for the weeks to come. Also there, I was catching the bar, which is good, but the intention was to do the triple Tkachev connection, so that's the 1, 2, and 3 in a row, right from the start or after the first turn. So as you saw, there were 4 turns right there that I didn't connect. And you know, it's pretty hard on the body, especially the hands and the wrists. So every turn really matters at this level. Another technical improvement that I could make that I realized recently was I might be going for the bar too early, which is losing a lot of power. And I'm also not really keeping my shoulders on the bottom of the tap, and that loses a lot of power as well. So it's those small technical changes that make a big difference. And one thing that I do and I find helps me a lot is look at other gymnasts who do the skill really well. So 3 gymnasts that I looked at were Taylor Burkhart's. His triple Tkachev connection is really good. He gets a really good block. I looked at Brody Malone's, and then I also looked at Caden Spencer's. And those are all a little bit different, but the idea is they're catching with straight arms and they're catching below horizontal, but still have enough room to work the bar. I think that's something that I need to focus on for future training sessions. Even though I wasn't doing the best technique, especially today, I still really wanted to make that triple Tkachev connection, so I ended up going until I made it, and I made it twice, which was good, but obviously considering the amount of falls that I had was not a great percentage. So as you saw, there were obviously some ups and downs. The high bar workout wasn't perfect, but even on those turns where I wasn't catching or doing my intended skill, I was learning a lot, and learning about those changes is what's going to make that progression happen much faster. So this video is getting pretty lengthy, so I'll leave rings and floor, which was part of my workout for that day, for the next video. So tune in for more and subscribe. Thanks.